you actually see, the non-electronic side. Okay, what it is, going back to here, is basically, now this is when I was making it. It basically was using a 5mm piece of AC Ryan acid green UV reactive plexiglass and a 3mm, so it's basically 8mm thick. And as you can see, I had it propped up in such a way that the what do you call it? You can kind of see right here, where the screws from when I made it for mounting it on the front of it were all prepared, ahead of time before I painted it. And so this one here, shows a better picture, of where the screws are. Don't mind the mess in the back of my apartment. It's torn apart because, when you're going through a building phase, it's always going to be, your place is always going to be torn up if you live in an apartment and you don't have a garage to do it in. And then there's the side of it where I propped it up away from the paper a little bit, from the cardboard, and there's paper there that's behind it, propping it up, and for the whole process of painting. The way I did the decal for the front of it, okay, is what I did is I made on the computer, took an image of the Borg claw and etched out on a full sheet of sticky paper that you buy from like a Kinko's or a FedEx, or from your office supply store. It goes through your laser printer. It's a full sheet, not pieces, and it's from Avery. And this way, what I did is when I printed it out, I then cut out these areas right here from it, including the green part, relayed it all onto the acrylic green plastic, and then what I did is I then spray painted it black. And after I put like a couple coats of plastic paint, okay, you're going to want to use on this, and there's not really much paint out there that's designed to spray paint acrylic, and it actually gave me an effect on the front of the claws that I was happy with, with the way it actually turned out. Originally it was going to be all flat black, no crackle to it, and it was going to be like real glossy, okay, laying flat on it, nice and smooth and shiny and everything. But what happens is I put that on, and then what I did is I did afterwards about 8-9 coats of clear paint. And then what I would do is I was wet sanding it down, since it's a plastic paint, it's that I'm using on this. I wet sanded it, as you can see, in one of these pictures, the the wet paper from back when I was doing it. From sanding it down, then I go out, put another coat of clear on, wait for it to dry, sand it down, and I did like about 8-9 coats. So it's nice and fairly thick. So this way, it doesn't get ruined. And also, I always suggest if you're going to be doing a project like this, get a third hand, okay? A nice big huge roll of solder, because you're going to go through a lot of solder. Get yourself also the soldering tip cleaning unit that you stick it in. Also, I have a candle there only because, I had a candle on my coffee table for at night, watching TV and stuff. But the third hand with the with the microscope or the lens on it, magnifying glass, is what you want to get. So this way, it actually will help you get like those finer little details done. Always make sure you have a soldering iron. I had sandpaper, so this way it gave me a little extra cleaning as the tip gets kind of ratty. You can sand down the tip a little bit, make it extend its life a little bit more and more. More paper and stuff from the wet sanding of it. For the LED to protect it when it's in the third hand soldering grips, the hands that I showed you, always have like little pieces of paper to wrap around the acrylic LED head where the light is, so this way it doesn't get scratched up. You know, nothing's worse than cracking an LED head and having to redo all the stuff again. Case in point, right there, all that extra wire. That's what it's from. Okay, and so back to this, and you know, that's the original unit that I got those things from. So if you are looking to build it, there's the what do you call it, the piece that you're going to be wanting to look for. You know, is one of those guys right there. You might find them online. You might do a search for it. I did a search using the words LED nightlight butterfly, and that's how I found it. Or you can, since it's coming close to Halloween, or wait for Halloween if this you're seeing this afterwards, look for one of these pumpkins that has this stuff. Now, as a side note, this little unit I'm pressing, it's got a little try me button on it, so it only lights up one of the LEDs. My suggestion is, I don't waste anything. As you can see, I've got a box for Molex parts, a box for LEDs, box for nuts, screws, bolts, and zip ties down there, and also it's got the Teflon screws. It's got even the little, you know, pieces, the offsets for the motherboards, and then miscellaneous parts, like for instance those goddamn frickin' putty front plates from you know, those Audigy Sound Blaster cards, and also a bag for what do you call it, for the for shrink wrap. And yeah, that's an electrical cable, and I run it across only because sometimes when I have all, you know, 8 machines going, I might blow a fuse. So I try to spread the power out in my apartment to other what do you call it, to circuits. But anyways, that little unit, that little testing unit, what you're going to want to do is take it apart. You know, and when you start taking stuff apart, you know, this part's actually in the box. It's not inside the pumpkin. It hooks into the bottom of the pumpkin by this little connector right here, and then here's your actual little, you know, button. So what you do is you take it, you know, and you get an Altoid box, and you make yourself, you know, one of these little guys. If you notice, here it is. It's printed upside down. It's hot glued into the box, okay, and what I did is I used, of all things, because, you know, waste not, want not, a toilet paper roll to be able to mount it in here, as you can see, so this way it doesn't shift and move around. Then you hot glue the button onto one side, hot glue the little connector on the other side, close it up, and look at that. You now have an LED tester, because you know sometimes you'll get a bunch of LEDs and they might get mixed up. You don't know if it's blue, red, green, yellow, or white, or ultraviolet LED. I use ultraviolet LEDs on some of my stuff only because I have UV reactive plastic. And you don't know if it's which is which. Well, this helps you be able to make it. And also what's nice about it is in the dark, you know, if you put a clear LED in here, if, you know, you have a power outage for some reason or another, you can put a clear LED in here, and now you've got yourself also a LED flashlight, you know, for yourself to be able to walk around so you're not stubbing your toes. So it's like a good little emergency fix. Okay, on to the next thing, and that will be on my next video.